from the Tri-States news leader, this is WGEM News.
Jesse Risley, another bitterly cold weekend in store for the Tri-States. When can we expect to see some temperature improvement? I'll have more coming up in the full forecast shortly.
Plus, how a community is rallying around a Pike County business owner after a fire destroys his business. And drivers on the Fort Madison Bridge reacting to some recent changes tonight. Good evening, I'm Daniel Wynn. Thanks for joining us. New at 10, the city of Quincy and former employee Thomas Pugh have now been named in a lawsuit. Court documents say it was filed by Benjamin Inman, who was recently convicted of threatening an alderman and is also charged with possession of child porn. It's a small claims lawsuit alleging defamation, libel, and slander against Inman. He's requesting between $2,500 and $10,000. In a phone call with WGEM News, Inman said regarding the city, quote, "They like to violate people's rights and they are notorious for violating people's rights and freedoms." Thomas Pugh was charged with 3 felonies and 2 misdemeanors for allegedly sending messages to Inman. Court documents show there is no scheduled hearing regarding the suit. Also new tonight at 10, the addition of card-only payments and periodic closures are frustrating many Fort Madison Bridge users. The bridge is expected to have an extended closure in the spring and another in the fall. WGEM's Zeke Shapiro spoke with those who are traveling across the bridge and has more on the local reaction.
Daniel, the consensus from those who have to use the bridge is pretty simple. They don't like it. Cashless payments are the wave of the future. However, those who have to pay $2.50 to cross the Fort Madison Bridge don't very much care for it. How do you feel about having to use your card over the bridge?
I don't like it.
For drivers we spoke with, the main objections came down to inconvenience and longer wait times.
It's very annoying. It's inconvenient. It's almost worth just going around, but depends if you have the time to cross it or not. Others
were more understanding, but still admitted the cashless system has some flaws.
It's easier because I don't have to have cash, but it's a pain in the butt sometimes because sometimes I don't have money on my card.
One woman I spoke with told me she and other users of the bridge have had to pay extra to go across.
Sometimes it'll take your card twice, charge you for it, but won't let you across.
I reached out to BNSF Railway but did not receive a response. Their new system not only has glitches, but some find it confusing.
Yeah, it's not very good. It's kind of, for old people, it's confusing for them.
I crossed the bridge twice, and each time I had to open the door and use the chip feature because the system didn't recognize the easier tap feature. The confusion about the system has proven too much for some, like Hancock County resident Glenda Lillard.
I won't use it.
With extended closures coming soon, Lillard is joined by many in her frustration over the bridge. Those who I spoke with said it's only about a 7-mile detour to get to Fort Madison, but they said it really is not worth the hassle when Fort Madison from Hancock County is just about a 30-second drive away. Reporting in Hancock County, Zeke Shapiro, WGEM News.
All right, thanks, Zeke. And the bridge will be closed starting Saturday at noon until Monday at noon until March 9th. It will also close again on May 4th through June 26th and September 21st through November 20th, according to officials.
All right, good Friday night, Tri-States. I know it's a cold one out there. Let's take a look at what we got going on satellite and radar because we had some flurries across the area earlier. That's starting to wind down. That's on the southern periphery of an Arctic high pressure system that's moving into the region. Of course, going along with that is that stiff north wind gusting over 20 miles an hour at times. So when combined with current temperatures generally in the teens or upper single digits, we've definitely had wind chills that are at or below zero at times throughout this evening. Well, how cold can we expect to get and when's it going to warm up? I'll have more coming up shortly. Stay tuned.
All right, thank you, Jesse. The identity has now been confirmed for that fatal car accident last night on Interstate 172 in Adams County. Anastasia Maiden, a 19-year-old young woman from Hannibal, died in the crash involving a semi and an SUV. It was just after 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon near mile marker 8. Police do confirm there were no other injuries. Pittsfield, Illinois residents are rallying around a business owner tonight following a devastating fire last weekend. Owner Peter Wright spent 35 years building Wright Place Auto Body, which was destroyed by fire last Saturday. Firefighters battled that fire in sub-zero temperatures. He says he will find a way to move forward.
Everything to me, like I said, I spent 35 years running it and growing it, and it's all gone in a couple hours. Is pretty devastating. We're progressing, and it's a lot of just a waiting game. The only thing I know for sure is I'm not completely done. But where we'll be 6 months from now, I'm not sure either. But I'll still be in business anyway.
Wright says he is still looking for a place to rent temporarily. He expressed his gratitude to the town and first responders who kept the fire from spreading. Still to come at 10, a new study revealing a surprising statistic about teenagers and gambling. What the numbers are and what parents should be watching out for next here on WGEM News at 10.
From the Tri-States News Leader, this is WGEM News at 10.
Welcome back. A survey by Common Sense Media says 1 in 3 teenagers admit to gambling underage. This comes as new numbers reveal Missourians wagered more than $500 million in December. Jordan Fremstead has what parents should keep in mind.
We used to have to get in our vehicles and drive to the casino in order to gamble, but those days are decades in the rearview mirror, and experts on problem gambling say parents must monitor what their children are doing online.
And teens have always been susceptible to the sins of the adults, let's put it that way.
Keith Spare serves as the chair of the Kansas City Port Authority Problem Gambling Advisory Committee. He has 30 years of experience in the field of problem gambling.
It's gone from the original 1 or 2 riverboat casinos to a major business.
December marked the first month of legal sports betting in Missouri, and the money talks.
$540 million in wages.
Another data point from a survey from Common Sense Media shows 1 in 3 boys ages 11 to 17 say they gambled over the past year.
They want to do what adults do.
It's not surprising.
Ken Howard is a Kansas family therapist, and he says underdeveloped teenage brains are drawn to social actions like online gambling.
Once ensnared, man, it makes it really hard to uncouple, especially if all their friends are doing it.
He looks to adults to set the example for children.
It is crucial that the parents know how to regulate themselves and then model that for them kids.
For parents who catch their children gambling, there's one thing to avoid.
And that's to shame the kid, to make them feel like they're a bad person for wanting novelty. This is how the teen brain is developing. And so to make them feel bad, all it's going to do is drive it dark.
Howard recommends healthy activities that bond families together.
Let's go do novel things rather than just don't do that.
Parents should also monitor their child's devices.
Be aware of what they're doing.
Howard says answers come to those who ask difficult questions.
It's okay to not know what to do. It's just not okay to not find out what to do.
Jordan Fremstead, KCTV 5 News.
Coming up, why a famous musician and Congress are teaming up to tackle a popular ticket-selling company. But first, as Missouri considers changing its tax plans, what tax experts in other states have to say about similar policies. That's after the break. Welcome back. Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe wants to replace the state's income tax with sales taxes. This is all reminiscent of how some other states are operating and doing business. Florida and Texas both have similar state revenue streams. The state government relies on sales taxes while local governments get their money from property. Some say this structure puts more of a burden on the working class family, but note that it attracts more businesses and also job opportunities.
If you look around the country at the states that don't have an income tax, they're not only surviving, they're thriving.
Middle class that's being squeezed in the property tax game because then they're paying sales tax, they're paying gasoline tax, and they're the ones that are just trying to make ends meet and they can't afford it.
And the plan on the table in Missouri would create a new sales tax, and it has to be approved by voters. If it passes the General Assembly, you'll vote on the plan in November. Musical artist Kid Rock is partnering with Congress now to accuse Ticketmaster of fostering fraud that raises ticket prices. Kid Rock testified on Capitol Hill this week. WGEM Washington correspondent Brendan Cullerton spoke with a senator who has introduced legislation to make event tickets cheaper.
Lawmakers accuse Ticketmaster of allowing bots and scalpers to scoop up tickets and sell them on the secondary market at high prices. Critics of Ticketmaster say they have an unfair monopoly on the industry and laws are needed to fix the issue.
This industry is full of greedy snakes and scoundrels.
Kid Rock says he wants to shine a light on what he calls Ticketmaster turning a blind eye to bad actors that artificially increase the price of tickets.
The truth is, much of this could have been, or still could be, solved through technology, especially proof of humanity tools. It hasn't happened yet because there's just too much money in the secondary ticket market.
Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn says the practice causes an exponential increase in prices.
The scalpers take the tickets, and it can be 100, 200, 300% that you're going to see an increase.
Blackburn has introduced a bill that would further strengthen existing laws barring bot purchases, but she says Ticketmaster isn't following the laws already on the books.
Enforcement of the Bots Act is a good place to start, and Ticketmaster actually complying with the law and reporting these bad actors.
Critics of Ticketmaster say the root of the issue was the 2010 merger of Ticketmaster and Live Nation, which they say has given the company too much power in the event space.
There should be more competition, and I think that's why people are looking at the merger and saying, you've got Live Nation, Ticketmaster that is a monopoly, and should they be broken up?
Ticketmaster says they have a policy in place to prevent bot purchases of their tickets. Brendan Cullerton, WGEM News, Washington.
Now, your first alert forecast from WGEM News.
All right, thanks for joining us here on your Friday evening. Well, I don't think we're going to fool anybody by saying cold weather is the headline, at least here in the interim. Got a high of 19 on Saturday, 25 on Sunday. Normally we're around the mid-30s, so we'll get into all that here in a little bit. First, we'll go over to Pittsfield and take a look at the Pittsfield tower camera, and Pittsfield's observation station's still down, so we'll take a look at the current conditions in Quincy. We're down to 11 degrees. But that brisk north wind, it's gusted up to 20 miles an hour at times. You step outside, it feels like it's 5 degrees below zero, and that's not going to change much as we go through the next 36 hours or so. Temperature roundup right now, generally, and this is held the last few hours into the teens, with the exception being across the far west. Temperatures are down into the single digits, and some of that's exacerbated a little bit by different amounts of snowpack. But we throw in this north wind of 10 to 15 miles per hour, and it is really cold out there, and there's your feels like temperatures. Almost everybody below zero, Hannibal and Paris at zero, and those are just going to keep coming down as we go through the night. Here's what we got driving all this. We get an Arctic high pressure here up to the north, and you can see that on satellite and radar. We had some flurries roll through on the southern periphery of that. As those skies clear out tonight, those temperatures will continue to fall, and that's really going to sink down in here. This will dominate our weather, at least for the weekend, and keep those cold temperatures in here, but eventually that'll push off to the east, and we'll start to get more southwest flow, and you'll see in the extended forecast temperatures are set to improve. So we'll time all this out for you in the future cast. I'm going to start this off at 11 o'clock tonight, and you can see the big story tonight as we were talking about skies clear out and all those flurries come to an end, and as we go through your Saturday, that's going to be the norm. I'm going to say deceptively sunny because those clear conditions continue, but then you want to keep our eye on this next system over here Saturday night into Sunday. Not a real big weather maker, but if you look at the future cast here, it looks like we could see some more flurries, maybe some light snow on Sunday, just enough to be a nuisance snowfall, not going to cause too many headaches or anything like that as far as winter storms go, but something to just keep an eye on. Overnight tonight, here's our forecast lows. I think we'll get down below zero across the northern tier, right at about zero across the central tier, and then the far southeast, we may stick Pittsfield and Winchester, maybe around 1 or 2 degrees, becoming more mostly clear as we go throughout the evening, but I do have those winds continue to gust up to 20 miles an hour at times. So wind chill values 10 to 15 degrees below zero. Not a lot of improvement tomorrow. Generally daytime high temperatures in the upper teens to around 20 degrees. Plenty of sunshine, but I said it will be deceptively sunny, and with those northwest winds continuing to gust, wind chill values below zero at times. 10 at 10 forecast. There is some reprieve as we get into Groundhog Day here on Monday. Looks like temperatures jump up close to normal. We're at about 35 degrees this time of year. And then on the heels of that Tuesday, a disturbance may bring some rain and snow, but it's not looking like a huge weather maker at this point. A little bit of a cool off behind that. Thursday into Friday, temperatures finally start to warm up. I know everybody's wondering, where's the warm air at? Well, there it is. The end of next week, we may hit the 40-degree mark, and then into the extended forecast. Pretty much a dry forecast, so no major winter storm disturbances, but it's going to be another 5, 6, 7 days before we get that nice warm up that everybody's been waiting for. That's a quick check of your weather.
Coming up next in sports, we have basketball highlights from all 3 states coming your way. We'll break down all the action on Sports Extra when we return.
From the Tri-State Sports Leader, this is WGEM Sports Extra.
It was a great night for basketball, and we had some great matchups taking place all across the area. But we begin our trip tonight on the road. Quincy High was taking on Sterling, looking to pick up that road win in conference play. Blue Devils trailed by as many as 11 in the fourth, but Parker Douglas drills the 3 right here to bring his team within striking distance. Just under 12 seconds to play. They'll pass the ball around, this time finding it to Brennan Lepper. He fires away to tie, and the bank is open. We're heading to overtime after the full court heave comes up empty. Big time moment from the freshman forward right there. QHS will waste no time getting on the board in OT. They'll swipe the ball away, and Parker Douglas takes it coast to coast for the bucket. They would build off the hot start in extra time. Nice pass. Finds his way to Milton Whitfield, and he goes off the glass as the Blue Devils extend their lead. This young Quincy High team didn't quit, and they would complete the comeback effort in overtime as they take down Sterling 59-52. Brennan Lepper led the way with 18 points. Quincy High is now 7-13 on the season and 4-6 in Western Big Six play. Let's head over to the Nest. That's where Liberty was hosting Brown County. Hornets stung early and often. Michael Cassing goes baseline, kissing this one off the glass for the quick 2 points. A little bit later, Cassing finds Markert, who dishes this one into the post to Henry Ingram for the easy basket in the paint. Liberty would fight back. Reed Sparrow with a pretty step back and drilling the triple for his team. Brown County was unfazed. Again, it's Cassing who finds Markert in the paint for the pair. The Eagles would continue to let it fly from deep, and who could blame Tate Huber? He has all day behind the arc, lets it fly, and cashes in the 3. Hornets saw that 3, and they would get it going from downtown. A Cassing to Cassing connection as Wyatt spots up and splashes home the triple. The Eagles battle hard, but in the end, Brown County would escape. Liberty with a 41-40 win. Michael Cassing led the way with 11 points. It was homecoming at Payson this evening, and the Tribal Chief ran the team out to the floor as they welcome in Southeastern. The sun shine bright early on. They'll toss one up to the big man, Brady McClintock. He fights to the contact for the bucket plus the foul. Payson trying to match Southeastern. Nolan Sparks, the homecoming prince, getting himself on the stat sheet with this nice layup. The Indians would get it done on defense too. Lucas Davenport coming away with the steal, ripping that one away. They'll push the ball ahead, and it's Landon Gooding capping it all off on the other end of the floor. These 2 teams will continue to trade buckets. Cash Lance showing off the fancy moves as he puts in the crafty layup. In the end, Payson would pull out the gritty win and defend their home court by dimming the Suns 54-45. We have more basketball action from Illinois coming your way. WGEM's Abby Williams was taking in a big matchup on the 2A front and now joins us in the digital studio to break it all down.
Thanks, Brendan. I was out in Carthage tonight for what some were calling the game of the night between QND and Illini West, and it did not disappoint. The Chargers came out hot, but it was the Raiders who got on the board first. Jace Allensworth here in a second, fighting his way through a sea of orange and blue to start off the game with this layup. But it didn't take long for Illini West to answer. That's Wesley Robertson spinning through the lane to fire up this Charger crowd. Back on the other side of the court, Allensworth facing the pressure. He dumps it off to Robbie Reed, sinking the 3 in. QND leads by 4. The Raiders take it right back and bring it to the rim. TJ Togarepi throws it up, and Bo Eftink finishes the job, getting those second chance points. For the Chargers, Robertson passes it to Brennan Grotz, shooting it from 3, and it falls in to cut down that QND lead. The Raiders look to stay ahead. Gavin Dolman's shot falls short of the basket, but Allensworth is right there to finish things off with a reverse layup. He had a team-high 18 tonight, and the Raiders keep their perfect season alive with a 55-46 win over Illini West. In other Illinois scores, Macomb takes down Havana 53-33. Nick Elby had 17 points. Wes Hancock gets the win over Camp Point 58-38. And now we're going to head up to Iowa. We really were all around the tri-states tonight. Up in Keokuk, the Lady Chiefs took on Fairfield. Spoiler alert, this game was all purple and white. Here is Kendra Boatman sinking a 3 here in the second quarter to keep the party going in Club Keokuk. Boatman's going to feed this one to Elizabeth Mason beyond the arc with another downtown dagger to extend the lead. These two were trading scores all night long. Here Boatman goes again, taking it through the paint to snag herself another 2. Let's go back to Mason, waiting out there in 3-point range, and you just can't stop these Chiefs. Make that another triple for her. We're still in the second quarter here, and these girls are just piling on the points before the break. Boatman gets another layup as Keokuk keeps things rolling. And they say all good things come in 3s. No one knew that more than Elizabeth Mason, dropping yet another one for the Lady Chiefs. Keokuk stayed hot all game long, defending their court with a 67-20 win. Now for the boys, Keokuk takes down Fairfield 76-39. HTC falls to Mediapolis in overtime 76-68. And Centrally gets the win over Van Buren 72-49. All right, Victoria, I was over in Iowa and Illinois tonight.
Yes.
Take us the final leg of our Tri-States tour.
Final leg. I had a fun game tonight. South Shelby versus Highland, which is always a great matchup. So let's head to Shelbina. This is the first and the last time that these two teams are going to see each other since they're no longer in the same district, but they were playing like they were in the same district tonight. Second half action, Highland up 7 until Addie Abel says, let's make it 10. Nothing but net. If we're showing 3s, we have to show the other queen of 3s. Hannah Gaines from Splash City. Count it, son. South crawling their way back. Grayson Lamphere drives her way to the rack, chucks it up, draws the foul, and sinks the shot. 3-point game, and here comes Charlie Roush to make it a 1-point game. Under 30 seconds left. South Shelby's going to send it down to Bella Cook. She secures the bucket and gets another for free. South Shelby with the lead and a win on the horizon. Highland down 2, praying for a chance, but South deflects the pass and takes possession. The game is over. South Shelby with a crazy comeback win, 44-40 over Highland. Lady Cougars drops 14-4 while South improves to 12-6. The boys' games was a little less exciting, but nonetheless the Cardinals still came to play. Logan Beasley gets things going, facing half the Cougars team. He sinks the pair, no problem. 2s are cool, but let's show us the money. Jace McWilliams from downtown post up and makes it rain. Ballers running that family. Highland looking to score. They're going to miss the shot here, but here comes Brighton Johnson for the rebound and the put-back pair. South Shelby could not be tamed in this matchup. Cole Schmitz gets the rock from 3-point land. A cha-ching. This game was all South Shelby. They get the win over Highland 57-32. Let's look at some other Missouri scores and boys basketball action. Monroe City over Clark County 57-27. Canton falls to Scotland County 77-62. Palmyra takes down Macon 49-32. In Missouri girls basketball, Monroe City defeats Clark County 56-22. Panthers are going to face QND tomorrow at the Pit at 4 p.m. And Canton takes down Scotland County 66-54, led by Chase Olmeyer for 19 points. That's all we have from in here, Brendan, so we're going to send it back to you in the studio.
Thanks, guys. The Fort Madison girls basketball team is having a great season thanks to a core of group seniors who play a big role on both the court and in the locker room. WGEM sports reporter Abby Williams has the story.
Up in Fort Madison, Iowa, the Bloodhounds have made winning a habit. Head coach Landon Bentley says this group is so deserving of all their flowers.
This team was freshmen when I started, and I had 2 or 3 of them starting varsity since their freshman year. Obviously, it goes deeper than just basketball for us. We try to have the camaraderie like a family and compete together on and off the floor. It's really good to see them benefit from their hard work.
Dayana Davis is one of those seniors and the owner of the school's all-time rebounding record. She says the reason for Fort Madison's success is all about the relationships they built off the court.
The underclassmen, they're just like my best friends. Like, I love them, and my teammates, we're just all family, and just being able to like actually care about each other and like want the best for each other just brings us all together.
That's the culture that Bentley's tried to build in his time as head coach.
That translates to life. Are we being great teammates? Are we putting each other first? Are we being enthusiastic and encouraging? Because that translates on when the basketball stops bouncing.
Senior Hadley Wolf set a school record with 9 three-pointers in a single game, but says she hasn't always been the playmaker she is now.
It's been definitely a journey. My freshman, sophomore year, I wasn't really doing much, but then my junior and senior year, I had to step it up, which, good thing I have.
Now they want to go out and make history in their final year together, but it's about the journey getting there.
Taking it one game at a time, like not getting too comfortable when we get big wins, just like knowing that we got to come in the next day and get after it.
Abby Williams, WGEM Sports, Fort Madison, Iowa.
Thanks, Abby. Fort Madison is now 10-4 on the season and took on Burlington tonight. Also, be sure to check out the latest Potts report. WGEM sports writer John Potts writes about how former Culver Stockton head football coach Chris Tabor will be joining the Miami Dolphins as their special teams coordinator next season. You can read that story and many more by John Potts by visiting our website at WGEM.com/sports. As always, another great night of basketball across the Tri-States. We'll be back out here tomorrow, bringing more action from the hardwood, plus some postseason wrestling from Illinois. But until then, that's all the time we have for sports. Thanks for dropping by, and have a great night.